Three, two, one. Okay. And now we're back with the Jacksons, and we're back to talk about their amazingly rich book, and the heritage of their experiences. And this is an amazing American family who have come through elements of their collectiveness and to be a great historical presence, a journey of love, faith, strength, and determination, world, state, city, and farm.
The book is available everywhere. So if you'd like to make a purchase, we are Brightside Global Trade. We're doing an interview with the Jackson family. Mm-hmm. This is part 2, and we're going to talk about education. So tell us, why was it so difficult to graduate? And tell us about how all 14 siblings got to be graduates.
But first we want to start with George and
George's story. Right. So
tell us, George.
Well, one of the things, let me just say, when I went into the military, I did well in high school. And when I went into the military, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I got out because I was drafted out. Initially, I was going into the Marine, but I decided, I wasn't going to go. And then I worked for a couple of years. And then I got drafted into the military. So my brother Grover, he was in the Peace Corps at the time. He was in Kenya. So my brother died, and one of my brothers died, and he was one before me. And so my brother Grover came back home from Kenya, and I came back from Germany. So my brother asked me, he said to me, what are you going to do when you get, I hadn't thought about it. And, I'm going to tell you exactly what I said. You might want to edit this, but he asked me, what was I going to do when I got out? And I said, I'm going to run with the hose and buy a car. That's all. Okay, you might have to edit that. Okay. So he said, no. He said that's not a good answer. So then when I went back to Germany, we conversed by letters, and he said, you got to start doing something about this. So I started applying for colleges, and I got accepted with a couple of colleges. But then when I got out, I was determined. And nothing else stayed on my mind but college. So I worked for a year. I was a truck driver for an automotive company. And I used to drive trucks all down, Atlantic City, Wildwood, New Jersey, all those places. So, but I was determined that I was going to save enough money to go to college. I didn't know what college I was going to go to, but I was determined. And I heard nothing came in my ear but college. Okay. So one of the colleges I got accepted was a 2-year college in Philadelphia, which was right across the river from Camden. Mm-hmm. But the reason I didn't go there because it was a 2-year college and it was a business college, and you had to wear a suit and tie, which I did not have. Okay. So in the same week, I got accepted to Hampton Institute, which is a historical Black college. Now I had never gone to the college, but I had a lot of friends who had gone. And so right away, I forgot about the 2-year college, and I accepted, I got accepted at Hampton, and I decided to go there. And while there, I became, because I was older, I was kind of instrumental to a lot of the younger folk. I became the president of the Veterans Club. At the time, it was like 150 guys. I also became the intramural director. So I did a lot of things at Hampton, and even when I graduated, I had no problem getting a job because as I said, I was older, had more experience. So when I was going to interviews, I mean, I was ahead a lot, even some of the kids who go to Harvard or because of my experience. So when I got out, I worked. Can I tell the name of the company? Should I say the company that I worked for? I shouldn't.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. The company that I worked for is called Corning Glass, and it by Corningware, Pyrex, Corel, a great company. And I excelled there pretty much. My first job, my first day on the job was Bermuda. Okay, because we had a sales meeting, and that's how we, that's how I got to meet everybody. And so
very good.
And the next thing, I I had a company car. I had a company car from the day that I started work, and expense account. And I was in sales, and I traveled all over the United States. The funny thing that I always laugh about was the fact that I had a company car from the time and I worked for the company 30 years. I had a company, and then when I retired, I moved to Virginia, and then I had to had to buy my own car and buy my own gas. Now in New Jersey, you don't put your own gas in your car. It's only one of the states, I think. But that's kind of a summation of what happened to me.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
So Grover, tell us your education story. What made you go to college, and tell us your journey.
Well, it all started on the farm. I did not like farming. I love school. I love people. Even today, I'm a people person. But in grammar school, we had, excuse me, I had a teacher. He used to take kids out of one class and to do work of a higher grade. And so he used to pull me out and do the math for a higher class. Now, I thought that he was just, you know how you can get an ego as a kid. But what he was doing was using that to motivate not just me, but the other kids as well. And of course, it helped me as well in being able to do the higher math, so to speak. Right. But the bottom line was I did not want to follow my father's footsteps. Farming was not something I wanted to do. And my mom was always encouraging all of us to get an education. And she would do whatever necessary to support us. During the summers, when we moved to New Jersey, just the backtrack, we didn't know anyone. I mean, absolutely zero people. And so I'm on the basketball court playing basketball, and that's all I could do was play with my ball because I didn't know nobody else. And these guys walked up and said, "Can we play?" I said, "Sure." And then they decided to choose a team, and they left me out. And so I'm saying, "Hey, it's my ball. If I don't play, no one plays." What I didn't know was one of the guys was a jailbird. He was just out of juvenile jail. And so he said, "You want to sell this?" And I had no idea what he meant. But I said, "Yeah." And by that time, he had hit me about 5 or 6 times. And so I couldn't compete. So I decided to take off running. Now, we did have a cousin there. So when I said I didn't know anybody, I knew someone, but it was not someone I would just, hang out there every day because that's just, cousin we didn't do that, so to speak. So I ran to his house, which was probably 3 or 4 blocks away, and I got him, and he was a big fella. So he walked back to the basketball court, and I retrieved my ball and told him to leave me alone. And so it bothered me. But what I didn't know, and he didn't know, and it didn't matter, the junior high that I was going to, these jailbirds went to. And when they saw me at the school, the first thing they said, "Well, we're going to sell this at the school." And I'm saying, "Sell it what?" And I knew what they meant, but I stayed at the school probably 2 hours after everybody had left and walked 3 miles out of my way to get home, afraid they were hanging out, waiting for me to come by. So I wasn't going to be in their radar range, so to speak. But that only lasted for about 3 months. And then we moved to a neighborhood, which was a middle class white neighborhood with Jewish people, Italian, and mixed race, non-blacks. I guess we probably maybe the third black couple moved there. And we went to junior high school, and from that point, I never saw another fight. And I had made the best of friends. One of my best friends, still a white guy, lives there in South Jersey. We communicate 3 or 4 times a year, and I sent him a copy of the book, by the way, so he has a copy. So, but I had a doctor friend. He was a friend, but I worked on this weekends for this doctor, and he basically, I did all his yard work, and George may have helped me occasionally, but he never gave me a lecture, never told me what to do, and never suggested anything. But he's asked me questions. "Well, Grover, when you graduate, what are you going to do?" And I had no idea because, I hadn't. And by the way, when we moved from the South to Jersey, they didn't ask us what classes we wanted to take. They automatically put us in classes. And most of them was non-college prep classes. I never took a college prep class in high school or junior high till this day. So therefore, when I graduated, I said I wanted to go to college. Now, not many colleges back in the day would accept a general major. And I was not an A student, but I had good enough grades to get into somewhere. But this doctor kept encouraging me that maybe I should consider college, and And I'm saying to myself, where am I get the money from? So mom worked with him and for him and borrowed the money from him that he never accepted back for me to finish my first year of college.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he's written, I wrote about him in the book, and he introduced me to a lot of other folks. But the other thing was, and Mary may not share this, but I'm gonna share. Coming from Georgia, and we laugh in the book, it's a lot of stories I probably wrote some about, and I said New Jersey had such a superior education system that they had to put me back a year. So I was put back from ninth grade, from 10th grade back to ninth grade. And Mary graduated from a school in Georgia. And when she went to college, she finished magna cum laude. And I'm saying so much for the superior Jersey school system. Here's a Georgia graduate, finished magna cum laude from college, and never finished a day one in high school in Jersey. So I say, well, anyway, that's a joke, but it's true. And we know it's the individual, it's not the system. But she finished magna cum laude through college, and I'm saying I basically got through college until I got to grad school. I was a better grad school student than I was an undergrad student. And it's basically true.
Wow, that's incredible.
What an incredible story. And it's phenomenal. Education has always meant the difference for our community. And we can't ever ignore that and the value of a good education, regardless of the experiences that you have to go through to get it.
In fact, every school I graduated from, my mom came to graduation. She just, I wanted to, everything she did was motivated me to do more and try to do more for her.
Right.
Wow,
that's amazing. Okay.
Anybody else wants to share an education story before we close this segment out?
Share with us, Chris. Yeah.
Just basically that Grover was the sixth child he was?
Eighth child.
All right, eighth. When you become 14th, you forget some of these things.
Just,
right?
Just another number, right?
In any case, when we came north, none of us had gone to college. Most of us hadn't even thought about college or didn't know anything about it. So Grover was the first one to actually go to college and to graduate. And it was from his beginning and success that the rest of us went to college, which I think is a tremendous
yeah, I think so too. Yes.
It is.
Yes.
All right. With regard to my mother, she only finished third grade, but she supported and pushed all of us to do what she could never do in terms of having a formal education, which is probably why she put so many certificates and diplomas on the wall, because she was just so happy and proud of the success we'd all had.
That's amazing.
So in some ways, those degrees on the wall, she probably reflected on those as her degrees.
Yes.
Her degrees.
They were. I mean, we gave her every certificate and diploma we had. And she was so proud, particularly when she came to my graduation.
I know, that's amazing.
That's awesome. Mary, tell us about your educational experiences.
Well, basically, I was working at the time. I was working on a project. I was called. It was basically the country was on the road to the moon, and I got laid off. And when I got laid off, I said, I only had a high school diploma. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. But the one thing, I'm going to make a decision that nobody else will make that decision for me as to what I'm going to do. And the county college had opened in New Jersey, in the county that I was living. So I decided to go over to the county college. Now, I had no intentions or even believe that I could be successful in college. And every semester that I was in college, I made the dean list or the president's list. Every semester.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
coming back to George's story about his mother encouraging him, sending him money and things like that, tell us again for our viewers about that amazing story about how your mother kept you going while you were in the military.
Well, she would basically, as I said before, she would basically send money. Of course, this was in 1968, which, money was very short. in the military, people did not earn a lot of money. But she would always write, send money, encourage, because I was also, when I was in the military, I was also the #1 troop in basic training. Out of about 2,000, I was the #1 troop, right? So I became the squad leader. And then when I ended up getting to going to Germany, I was there and I was selected to go to NCO Academy. That's almost like 6 weeks of West Point.
Okay.
And so I was very, I've always been very athletic. And so we had a baseball team there, a softball team rather. And at first it just started just like a pickup team. And then after that, it became a great team. So we were playing all over Germany. So
That's right.
we ended up, and I was known as the man. Okay. You know,
Very good.
had a
'Cause you're
championship,
athletic.
right? And we had a championship, which was it's this place called Berchtesgaden, Germany. It's way south in Germany, and we had a championship that particular weekend. And if we had won the first game, if we had lost the first game rather, we were going to play again. So I didn't play the first game because I was always in the NCO Academy for the 6 weeks. But as I said before, I was a man. But anyway, I ended up hitting a triple and won the game, won the championship of Europe. Okay. And I had never seen so many people like generals and colonels and flying in helicopters and everything, to the game. But anyway, get back to my mom. I would write her and tell her about all of these things. And she was just so proud. And she would just tell everybody everything that happened. But then when I got out and went to college, she did the same thing. She was just always just helping us, always. And
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I never understood why you have to have 14 children, because a lot of times, we were angry because we had to take care of the other one. But now it's great.
Yeah. Well, you got so many brothers and sisters, and you guys are an amazing family, and I give you full credit. And you have comments, Clara?
So we are with the Jackson family, and we are sharing with you their books that we encourage that you buy. We recommend it. It's going to be on the Brightside review list of books this month of March. It's a fabulous story about a family life and will bring much inspiration to yours. We're here with the 4 of the Jackson's 14 siblings to tell us the story today. And this segment, which we're wrapping up, was about education and how very hard money was in the 60s. And yet all 14 got to go to college with one woman, their mother, strength, determination, and motivation that did that. And over to you.
Well, I just want to thank you all for participating today, to be a part of the Brightside Global Trade. We always want to recognize those families, experiences that have been a hallmark of the success of our communities, and those that have stood up and stretched out and done great things. And this book is a reflection of their incredible story. We encourage you to read it and get it as an example of what can be achieved. We've heard today from Chris Jackson, from Mary Jackson, from George Jackson, and Grover, the writer. And so we're excited, and we want to thank you all for participating, and we want to thank you for hearing your story. And we encourage all of our listeners to go out and get a copy of this book from Amazon, Barnes & Noble's, Books A Million. It's a great read. So with that being said, Godspeed. Thank you so much for participating and being a part of our broadcast. All well. Godspeed. Bye-bye.